Welcome to one of my most terribly wet camping trips in the winter of Finland. On this adventure, I head out to my viral cave shelter I built years ago. Will I manage to stay dry? Day 1. I hike out a couple hours from my cabin and find myself in a harsh, cold and wet winter forest. Water is dripping from the needles of the evergreen trees, and my shoes are already wet. I get to my cave shelter, and the first thing I do is to check if it's dry inside. The cave is not an actual cave, rather a big leaning ledge that works a bit like a roof. To my grand surprise, the inside of the shelter is dry. It is time to make a fire before it gets dark. I need to find enough dry firewood. I have only a bit of dry tinder with me that I carve into small, easy to ignite chips. Inside the very windproof shelter, it gets super smoky for a while. However, thanks to my ancient Viking design, the smoke actually clears out fairly well from gaps at the top of the walls. It is comfortable inside. Let's grab the trusty cast iron pan that I've carried all this way. Today I'm actually gonna cook something with more than 2 ingredients. This time it's about 5 ingredients. As long as I keep the fire hot, the smoke is warm enough to stick. Tonight I will eat some fried vegetables and grass-fed beef meat. It's a good standard for having high energy and maintaining muscle. enough sitting around. I have a shelter to improve. On my first trip to this camp, I built the shelter from scratch, mainly using dead logs I found around the forest. I left it incomplete, however, as there are several large gaps in the walls. Let's find more dead trees and branches to upgrade the cave shelter. After it is done, I can get back inside the warmth and get all dried up, even though it's 100% moist outside. After just 15 minutes, we are done. I take a moment to appreciate the silence and solitude of the winter forest, then get inside and place the door. My door is a simple wool cloth that I hang over the branches at the entrance. With the door in place and the fire going, it's several degrees warmer on the inside, yet there's barely any smoke at my sitting level. Truly, this is the most cozy shelter I've built so far. Considering we're in a completely damp, snowy forest and dark, this is amazing. Only natural materials, and we're completely dry and warm inside. Gotten into my cozy sleeping bag. It is pitch black outside and the water keeps on dripping, but not on me for most parts. dead winter of the north, it feels strange to see completely green leaves inside the cave. Good morning, adventurers. I've slept well and remained dry all throughout the night. Only a couple drops fell onto my sleeping bag at times, not enough to really matter. As I set the fire and prepare breakfast, I find something peculiar inside the cave, in a deep crack. I'll show it soon. Look at this beautiful butterfly. I must have woken it up from its slumber, and it crawled out toward the warmth of the fire. I think it's best I put him aside so I don't crush him. I never expected to see a vibrant butterfly in a winter cave. we'll take a look at the scenery of the forest. I've got my GoPro so that I can capture the most immersive experience of walking through a Nordic winter forest. Follow along as I pack my equipment and head out. When is the last time you felt the joy of returning home after a real adventure? A strong appreciation you feel for the comforts of life. Your warm home, your bed, the food in the fridge. That is the great feeling I always have when returning from a not so luxurious camping trip with primitive equipment. Let me know in the comments, when did you have this feeling? What adventure did you go on? Or has it been too long since you've experienced the joy and freedom you're longing for? I'm getting closer to my cabin where I live. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Subscribe to follow my next chapter in off-grid life, as I will soon depart on an epic journey on my hand-built solar-powered super yacht. I will sell everything and vanish, but not off YouTube. As always, don't forget to get out there. The quest is waiting for you.